Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's show. If you're a first-time watcher or listener, then by way of introduction, I'm Chris, and with me is Kieran, and we are the FPL Cougars. And today we are going to be talking about double game week 32. Big one, big one. So, Kieran, enough of my elaborate intro. Let's get down to business. Firstly, how are you this week? And did you enjoy those England games?
Yeah, they were fun, weren't they? A little stressed out with all the tinkering, but yeah, good. Looking forward to 32.
Yeah, I know. All those international games, it's been quite interesting to keep an eye on all the different players all around the world and just seeing, monitoring as they come back to this country ready for another weekend of action. So at this point in the show, we usually recap our game week scores and the state of the FPL Cougars Mini League, but we did that last week. So if you missed that, go back and watch last week's video because tonight we are just going to be talking about game week 32. And we're going to get straight into it because there's a lot of matches to discuss. So we're going to start on the Saturday morning kickoff, which is Manchester City, who are playing away at Fulham. Both of these teams have a double, and this is the first of which for them. And what we're thinking, it's going to be a bloodbath, isn't it, for City?
I think that's the only way you can probably take it, to be honest. Away at Fulham. Fulham got pretty much the worst defensive record in all the league. And yeah, you can only see a bloodbath, can't you, to be honest? Sterling and obviously Aguero seem like the two standout picks for this week. Obviously, if a lot of people are free hitting, and if you're not, then you're going to want them in anyway. I assume you'll want Sterling, won't you? So,
Yep.
I think those two have to be nailed on in any team. And if you're free hitting, it's the choice of an attacker, a third attacker, or the defense. Like we kind of mentioned that last week, but now's the crunch time when we need to decide, really. And I still haven't decided, really.
So at the moment, your team still is as we looked at it last week. So you've still got David Silva as well as Sterling and Aguero in your team as your free City coverage. As the week sort of passed, have you lent away from the three City attackers and you're thinking of investing maybe perhaps David Silva's money in a defender?
I have been looking at. I've been tinkering so much that it's all kind of come back to what I have now, just because I'm waiting for press conferences. I'm waiting for Rashford to be declared properly fit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for all these things to come in on tomorrow, on Friday,
Yep.
so that we actually know who's fit and available. Obviously, managers don't always say who's ready, but OGS Ollie's usually pretty good for that sort of thing.
Yeah, he is.
And hopefully Pep can give us some sort of idea who's looking to be starting, really. If I get any inkling that David Silva is not favoured, something like that, then, or Bernardo looks like he's Pep says some glowing comments about Bernardo or something again, then maybe I'll go that way. But it's kind of hard to look past the reliability of one of the defenders in Laporte, because you think there should be at least one clean sheet in these two games, right?
Yeah.
And if not, then two. But they could easily concede one as well, and that would just be super annoying, wouldn't it? In 3 or 4-0 routes, or 4-1s, I suppose. If they concede that one, it almost feels like a wasted player or spot.
I suppose from looking at it from your point of view, though, if you're comparing one of their defenders to David Silva, their most expensive defender is almost 2 mil cheaper, isn't he, than David Silva? So I think that's where you cut the sort of the risk a little bit, if you like, because are you really expecting David Silva? I'd expect City on paper they should get 2 clean sheets in these games from how poor the opposition are. So are you expecting Silva to get at least an assist and at least a bonus point or clean sheet as well on top of that? So yeah, it's a challenging one, and then it's the money offset in between that.
I mean that is the hope, that he would get an assist and a goal and clean sheet points possibly as well.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. What do you think regarding 3 attack versus 1 defense?
I think it's too difficult to pick that third City attacker, which is why if I was on a free hit, I'd probably have one from each position: an attacker, midfielder, and a defender. On the minute side of things, so I was having a look at who has played minutes from their attacking players over the international break. So Aguero obviously didn't play or have any involvement. I think Sterling only got rested for 14 or 24 minutes in the first game. Sane played nearly 100 minutes, I think, across Germany's 2 games. Mahrez played a game. So it's not as if any of them have had a proper rest. So I still think it's like a bit of a toss-up who's going to play.
Other than David Silva?
Yeah, other than David Silva in the middle. But in terms of sort of their wing play, if you like, Mahrez, but I think Bernardo played as well, didn't he, a game for Portugal. So I think those four who usually sort of rotate on the wing positions, I think it's still a bit up for grabs. And really, you'd expect Pep to go with the player who's in the most form. And I think that's Sterling at the moment. I could see Sterling playing this one and getting rested in the midweek one against Cardiff.
Yeah, I think you need to, I think for Aguero, I think it's going to be... I think he'll probably play all three of the next few games. I think he'll play the FA Cup as well, but I think he'll just have 60 minutes in all of them.
Yeah.
And then Sterling, I think, will probably play this first one, is my guess, like you said.
Yeah.
And then, possibly a rest in the next one and come on for the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's where you've got to kind of weigh up the captaincy decision between those two as well. It's it's super tough. Sterling could be more explosive in one game, but Aguero is going to have the consistency of probably playing all three of them at least.
I think we'll talk about their captaincy credentials sort of towards the end, because I think they're both great options. And I think even if one of them just comes on for 20 minutes in the game against a tiring Fulham or a Cardiff side, they could easily chalk up a goal or assist. So I think even a 20-minute cameo in either of those games isn't a bad chance for them. We were talking at the start of the week about how much Sterling's been in form, and I'm going to be playing my triple captaincy this week, and it will be on Sterling or Aguero. And we were saying how unfortunate it was or how well Sterling's been playing recently, that if he'd been triple captain for those two England games, he would have amassed like 111 points, I think it was, the 4 goals and 2 assists, and it's a crazy number. So he's so in form at the moment, playing so well in the league. He's taking that form into those international games. I think he's going to come back and hit the ground running in this game against Fulham.
I hope so. That sounds like you're leaning towards Sterling.
Well, I just think that he's in such good form. I feel like sometimes when players are playing those games, they just like games back to back. Like we've all been talking about Aguero's rest, and Jesus has played Brazil games, so you'd think Aguero's likely to start. But is his form as good as Sterling? So it's a tricky one.
How annoyed will you be if you triple captain Sterling and doesn't play the first game?
Yeah, pretty annoyed. Pretty annoyed. I mean, we spoke, didn't we, about how both games on paper are almost good enough triple captaincy options in their own right. Cardiff at home and Fulham away, so it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be nice to get the minutes there as well as.
And at the same time, Mahrez, Sane, whoever comes in, KDB's supposed to be fit again now. Fernandinho's supposed to be fit. Whoever comes in can probably handle them without Aguero and Sterling. Obviously, they are going to play, but rotation for these 2 games will probably be pretty rife, I'd say. I mean, you'd expect first team players, but at the same time, they can be rotated because they're such easy fixtures, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we pick up again on City a bit later, because I'm sure they're going to come up heavy in their second game and the captaincy discussion.
Anything about Fulham here? They've got a double as well, so
they have got a double, but I just can't, Kieran. I can't do it.
I've got a sneaky feeling with Babel. I think Babel might do something. He scored against Liverpool, right?
He did score against Liverpool.
No reason he's at home this time, so no reason he can't maybe sneak a goal against City, and then Watford away. I don't think is the worst fixture for him, and he's been pretty decent form lately. So with Watford, probably rotating for that game before the FA Cup. Babel could be within a shout. He's 5.5 million, 0.4% owned.
Is he going to be your Cougar Cup pick?
Differential.
It's a massive differential because no one wants him. Kieran. Oh, I'm not down on the Babel pick.
Oh, I don't know.
You
wait and see.
Not down on the Babel.
That's why I'm leaning toward not going for a defender, because I think Babel's going to ruin that clean sheet.
Why don't you get Babel in your team?
Maybe I will.
Can he be fit? Can he be first sub?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
anyway, I'm not sure. He did score that goal against Liverpool, but that was just an awful mess up at the back, wasn't it, between Van Dijk and Alisson? So,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I do sort of get your reasoning with the Watford game, and their eyes will be on the FA Cup, and Fulham could sneak something there. So fair enough. But okay, as a priority transfer, I don't think so. And anyone on free hits, definitely not. Ballsy move though, Keek. I like it. All right. Should we move on to Brighton against Saints? Sorry, that's good. Brighton Saints 3:00 on Saturday.
Yep. I think this is Brighton's game to lose. I think they need to win this game. because they've got eyes on the relegation battle as well.
Yeah.
They're at home,
Yep.
and they need to win this one if they're going to rotate in the game after with a look for the FA Cup.
Yep.
So yeah, I think full strength side on this one. I think Murray will probably play this one and probably get benched for the next game against Chelsea. Yeah, I think Ryan and Button are pretty good picks because Ryan is 4.4. So if you want to go for both of those as a double up, I think seems quite good. Especially if you're not on a free hit, then those two, if you maybe already have Button, maybe get Ryan in as a cover, might be nice.
I'd counter that by saying about Southampton's goal scoring threat recently. They've scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 games, which is pretty good. So, and I think Prowsey, as he's been called in sort of the England camp, he's in great form now, isn't he? 6 and 9. So I think it's going to be a tough game. That is a real relegation scrap, that one, isn't it? Real 6-pointer for, I think, Southampton. Going to be really going for that. I mean, it's funny that they're still down in that area, but they've put in some good performances recently. And like I said, James Ward-Prowse is really playing well. And for a while, we thought they were going to get a double in 32, and he was really going to come into my thinking. But they haven't. The FPL gods have decided it's going to be later on in the season. I think it's in game week 35 they're going to have a double. So maybe it's one for him to keep an eye on him then, because Newcastle and Watford in those weeks.
Yes, but I think Dunk and Duffy are probably good options as well if you want to go that way. Yep. Dunk is 4.4 as well, so cheap as well. And cheaper than Schlupp, cheaper than Wan-Bissaka, unless if you didn't have him already. And nailed on, so...
Yeah, no, okay, I like it. Fair shout. They're enablers, aren't they, really?
Pretty much.
For a free hit or just a double game week coverage. I can't see them getting much at Chelsea, though. Maybe some minus points even.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, we thought that about Everton.
We did.
The week before. So, Brighton have the ability to get clean sheets, unexpected ones. So, you never know.
Yeah, they could.
Hazard and Co might completely troll us in that Brighton game.
Yeah. Okay. Another one of the Saturday games, Burnley against Wolves. So it's Wolves' first of 2 fixtures. You've got Bolly. You're still thinking about Wolves' defensive coverage. I've obviously got Doherty and Jimenez. A little bit of sort of good fortune, I suppose, came out of Doherty's international break in that he got rested or rotated more like for the second game. So he played a wing-back role for Ireland, and then he got benched for the second game, didn't he, when they sort of switched to a back 4. So he had a bit of a rest, but Jimenez has been on the other side of the world. I think he's been in California playing a couple games for Mexico. So I think
he only played one. He didn't feature in the second. So
I think he was playing, or he was still with the squad though on our Wednesday AM, and he was due to get back. So I think it's a difficult one to call whether he's going to play in this Burnley game. I feel like him getting back from international break, maybe Nuno will put him on the bench for this first one, and maybe second half sub, and then play against United. I don't know. It seems like a tough one for me.
My gut says he plays because. I don't know, if you look at the FPL listings of Wolves forwards, he is the only one.
Yeah.
He is their only striker, and I don't think Adama or Traore or whatever fills that role with Jota. No. So I think he's the only one that works up there. So I can see him coming straight back in. I don't see why he won't. I mean, yes, a bit of fatigue, bit of jet lag maybe.
Yeah.
He'll probably get 2 training sessions with them before Saturday. So I think that's probably enough. I think he's kind of being a bit overlooked, in this this double game week, because people don't think he's essential. I don't think he's essential. I didn't think he was essential. That's why I got rid of him and in 31. But now I think about it, he looks quite good, to be honest. I think that Burnley away game might be quite good for them. And
they've been woeful recently, Burnley, haven't they? I was having a look back at their defensive stats. They've lost their last 4 and conceded at least 2 in all of those games. They sort of had like a bit of a mini revival when Heaton came back into the side, but they've dipped right back off again. And that Leicester game last time out, where they were playing against 10 men for nearly 90-odd minutes and ended up losing 2-1, so surely a bit of a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But you'd think they'd want to bounce back from that. So I think it might be a tight game. I think if you're not on free hit and you've still got Barnes, I think you could be fairly confident of a possible return here. That's why I'm slightly worried about Bolly, but I think there's equally good chance to get a clean sheet in that one.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a differential, and he should play both because their back three doesn't rotate pretty much at all.
Too much.
So
he's a mainstay, isn't he? Really, Bolly.
Set piece threat, hasn't he? So, yeah. I don't, it's maybe basically.
The only thing I would sort of mention, going back to Jimenez again, is I don't know if you remember they played away against Newcastle. I don't know. It feels like it was a game week in the 20s, and Jimenez got benched, and they played Jota up front through the middle, and Traore wide. So I mean, it's not a tactic that Nuno's been afraid to use. So it could be for a game like this. I know for a fact Jota didn't play for the for Portugal, but he was away with them. So yeah, it could be that if he's had a bit of a break, he could come back in and play sort of like that false nine position with Traore, who doesn't get a ton of starts anyway, sort of filling in wide, and then perhaps he gets subbed out for Jimenez a bit later in the second half. Maybe overthinking it, but we've seen it before.
Yeah, it's possible, I suppose. Yeah, it could happen. Burnley away seems to be the perfect time to do it, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you think they'll be focused on? I mean, we'll talk more about United game actually in a bit later, shall we? Should we move on to Palace against Huddersfield? So Palace, another team who have got a double game week. The first of which is this game against Huddersfield. The second of which is away at Spurs' new stadium on the Wednesday evening. The big dilemma for me is Gaita going to start both games? Fingers crossed, because he's been in my team for quite a while now. I think he's missed one game where Roy said he was rotated because of, I think it was Burnley's set piece threat basically, and he wanted Hennessy in goal, which seems a bit of a strange decision to drop a goalkeeper for one game because it makes me feel like he doesn't trust him. But yeah, I'm going to have to stick with him because I can't afford to sort of waste a goalkeeper transfer. In terms of defence, there's options with Schlupp, who's got a bit more goal threat, and Wan-Bissaka. You've currently got Schlupp. Are you predicting a pretty solid clean sheet in this one against Huddersfield?
I mean, you'd hope so, right? But West Ham did manage it last week when they scored. Was it 2 against them? Three was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I imagine, Palace are a little bit more solid than West Ham, I think. But yeah, Schlupp's been playing out of position midfield in the last 4 or 5. Yeah. So I think he did play left back in one of them because Van Arnott was possibly picked up one knock for one game or something. But I think he's back to fitness. So yeah, worst comes to worst, he should probably at least play left back. But yeah, out of position midfield with a fairly tight defence unit, and Huddersfield at home seems pretty good. But Crystal Palace have a pretty woeful scoring record at home, a pretty woeful form at home. So people who are picking Milojevic and Batshuayi and whoever else, maybe I don't know if you're hoping for a goal fest, because it's probably not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a low-scoring win for Palace, this one.
Yeah, like a 1-0 with a Millie penalty, probably.
Yeah.
Annoyingly. I would love to get him in, but it's just funds, and I don't know. I don't know if he's definitely going to get a penalty, because he doesn't offer much outside of penalties, does he?
No, I mean, he's on set pieces, isn't he? Some of them, so corners and sort of wide free kicks and whatnot. But yeah, you are really sort of relying on a penalty for him to score, because he's not likely going to pick up one in an open play. I wanted just to mention something for players like me or who at this point have already used their free hit, and they're sort of making transfers for this week, which might have a knock-on effect to 33. So when we were in game week 31, we didn't think Palace were going to have a game in 33, but now they do. So if you're building your team now by bringing in a Palace player, you're essentially getting them in for 3 games, 2 in 32 and 1 in 33, when there might be some players who have only got 1 in this game week and none in the 33. So if you're building it that way, I think it makes sense to bring in a Palace player. So like you say, there's good options in defence, cheap ones. And Milivojevic and Batshuayi are probably the picks in midfield and the striker position. So yeah, if you're looking just to build up numbers for your 32 squad, because as soon as this game week's over, everyone's going to be scrambling back around, aren't they?
Yeah, I think a Pereira out to someone like Schlupp could be good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. They've got decent-ish fixtures, haven't they, over the next 3? Yeah. So yeah, why not? Tottenham away is obviously the pretty difficult one. That new stadium hype, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then again, they're a solid team, and Millie could get points everywhere. And I think we need to listen out to Roy's press conference as well on Friday. Yeah. to hear if Zaha's fit, basically, because if Zaha's fit, then that'll make Millie better because he'll get probably penalties. It'll make Batshuayi probably better because he's going to get fed from him, and it'll probably even help Schlupp because the attack or the defense will be less threatened because Zaha's got the ball and going forward and taking people on all the time. So yeah, I'll be having a keen eye on that one. And even Zaha, he's a differential as well. So, and yeah, I like him. I like Batshuayi. I like Millie. So it's tough to pick any of them, but yeah, centre forward Batshuayi seems quite good. What do you think of him?
He's still a really big differential. I think he's still under 2% owned, and 3 goals in 7 games in all comps is pretty good. So the fact, like I say, for players like me who aren't playing a free hit, if you're thinking about a longer term transfer for getting him in, if they play away against Newcastle in 33, so you're getting 3 games out of him. And yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him return in the Huddersfield game or the Newcastle game, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we move swiftly on to Leicester against Bournemouth? Probably one of I think it's one of 2 games this week where the teams don't have a double. Neither of these teams. So I've actually got 2 players in my starting lineup from Leicester, one from Bournemouth. So there's a lot riding on this game being a goal fest. I think Vardy is being crazy overlooked even by people on a free hit. I think it's a great fixture for both teams, both strikers and attacking players, really, because of how poor both defences have been recently. So Leicester have seen like over 2.5 goals in their last 6 games in all comps, and we know, you and I know from experience, that Chilwell Pereira can't keep a clean sheet, and Bournemouth have only managed 3 clean sheets away all season. So this game, like looking at the stats and looking at how these teams have been recently, it's just got goals written all over it. So people that had King in last week are sort of, I think they're, Callum Wilson in last week are going to be due some goals in this one.
Yeah, totally agree. Vardy is one I've considered even on the free hit because I think that fixture is so good, like you say, and I think there's going to be goals. It could be, I'm pretty sure we mentioned it the last time we played that we thought it would be like a 4-3 or something like that.
We hope so.
It certainly could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maddison looks sharp. Fraser, King, Wilson, so many people there that they could return well. Chilwell could even get something. Pereira could get something, but I don't know. There could be lots of points here.
I feel like it's going to be a goal fest, and I think it's, again, like I say, because it's one of the 4 teams who haven't got a double game week. It's sort of been a bit overlooked, but I think there's great opportunity at both ends for Leicester and Bournemouth players. If you're not on your free hit and you're worried, and you want to take a bit of a maverick move to perhaps get a player that doesn't play for City, Chelsea or United, I think Bournemouth and Leicester players are certainly ones to look at.
Yeah, it'll be classic that obviously I have Vardy in my team. It'll be classic that I get rid of him on the free hit. He goes and trolls because he always does it to me. He obviously blanked last week when I brought him in for the blank game week of 31, and then he's going to probably haul as soon as I get rid of him, and then I'll bring him back for 33 after the free hit, and he'll troll. It's going to be unbelievable.
Also, they have a good fixture in 33 as well, man. They play away against Huddersfield, so they got another good fixture to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it'd be good. He's got 6 returns and 6 Vardy, so he's sort of like my little gem this week because I feel like he's getting overlooked because of the double, and I need a bit of a differential where I haven't got all these double game week players. So come on, Jamie. I'll tweet him later, just wishing him luck or something. I'm sure he'll love that. Cool.
I'm sure I'll do well.
Sure I do well. Okay, cool. So another 3 p.m. game is the team that have got Ollie at the wheel, confirmed manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer taking his first official game in charge as Manchester United manager up against Watford. Do you think now that he's been confirmed, it's going to be crazy intensity in that game, and United is going to go for it?
I think so. I don't see why not. Manager bounce, obviously confirmed manager bounce seems like it could be a thing. Everyone seems to be like they're going to come back to be fit, apart from Lukaku. It seems like. Yeah. He's apparently out for another 2 games at least, so looks like he's going to miss the double.
That's a shame, isn't it? Because it looked like he could be a really good pick.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, Rashford probably going to be fit. Matic, Herrera, Martial probably look like they're all going to be fit. Lingard as well.
Yep.
So I expect Martial, Lingard, and Rashford front 3.
It sounds exciting, doesn't it? With Pogba in behind.
Yes, it does. And I mean, that's what started the kind of revolution, I suppose, of the upturn. As soon as Ollie got appointed as interim,
Yeah.
those three plus Pogba behind were doing work, were doing the business, weren't they? And I had a feeling that he would kind of go back to that anyway, because it's what started them doing well. Lukaku injured, or maybe possibly coming back. I thought Lukaku might be benched anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rashford didn't do any internationals. Got sent home. Guess we just got to wait for this press conference, haven't we? To be honest,
find out how they are, how they're all doing. I think Pogba's a bit of an interesting case because his recent form's been pretty poor. I think he's averaged 2.3 points in the last 4 game weeks, which is pretty atrocious, really. And United sort of need him at this stage of the season to really boost them. Now they've dropped out of the top 4, but he's actually the most owned player in FPL at the moment, since Salah's ownership's dropped down ahead of this game week. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pogba is either the first or second captain pick, despite these City players, just because of his ownership. And I don't like using the term casuals, but people who are just not taking the game as seriously are just going to throw the armband on him because they see those fixtures and he's well owned. So I think if Pogba hauls in these games, I think a lot of people are going to see not really
greens.
Greens, and so not really surprised moves up the ranking because there's some good fixtures. But do you know what I mean? People have, I think, focused a little bit too keenly on City players, when really Pogba is definitely guaranteed to start both. He's on penalties. The teams they're playing have both got their eyes on an FA Cup semi-final. Ollie's been made manager. There's lots of things that's pointing towards United winning both of these games, but it's just his form's been a bit recently.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the triple United attack over triple City attack. So putting Martial in as the differential, as you mentioned last week, 7.2 million, way cheaper than David Silva. Lets me upgrade the defence a little bit. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I like it. I like Martial in the team, and like you say, if he is going to be fit, he is a really good differential. We know he's got the capacity to get on the score sheet, and I think that the stats back up that United are going to score and do well in this game. As Watford's defence in the last 4 has been pretty poor. They've seen over 2.5 goals, sort of in total in their last 4 games conceded as a collective team. That is, sorry, and United's record at home has been really good recently, so they've averaged more than 2.5 goals in 7 of their last 8. So yeah, they're looking really good from an attacking point of view. Obviously, they've still not. I don't think they've been beaten at home maybe in the last 10 or 12 games. So yeah, they're looking good. I think they're looking good for a win here, and any of Pogba, Martial, and Rashford I could see getting on the score sheet.
So you think a triple United attack is less risky than a triple City attack?
I don't think less risky, because I just think that Wolves game's harder than the Cardiff game. I just think it's a good option. Plus, you've got to consider that Martial's cheaper than David Silva.
Yeah.
And Rashford's cheaper
Martial,
than Aguero and all that sort of thing. I mean, you wouldn't have...
Yeah, Martial rather than David Silva will let me have Laporte in defence or Edison.
Yeah.
So, I mean, City are probably more nailed on for the clean sheets. I don't know. Can you see United defence doing well in these? Probably 1 clean sheet, you think?
I think probably a clean sheet more likely in that Watford game. I'm not sure who
I was thinking more likely the Wolves game,
Okay.
But, because I think Watford will go full strength for the first game, like I said before. So, yeah, because I see a goal being conceded to Delave or Deeney or something. And then Wolves, I think, will rotate in that second game. So I think there's less of a chance for them to concede to Adama and, I don't know, and Morgan Gibbs-White and all that lot. So, yeah.
Who would your pick be for the United defender, though?
I mean, I've looked at Young. I think he's a good differential. He seems to be nailed on. I think he's only missed 1 game. I'm not really sure why that was. Maybe just a knock or something. But I think Delo will be possible cover for up the top. Maybe if Lingard has to come off or something, Delo will go up in the front 3 sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Young is nailed on. And then there's obviously Lindelof, his wife. There's been loads of digging on Twitter about his wife for having a baby. But so she's already had that now, so Lindelof should be nailed on to play. He's 5.1 million, so cheap, and looks to be nailed on. And then Smalling as well, 5.6, cheap, nailed on. Decent. And then De Gea is 5.7 if you really want to spend that much. Same as Edison.
Yeah, I think that's too much. for me for De Gea. I'd rather even Ederson's got a bit of assist potential, isn't he? So I think Shaw's a bit of a not a negative, but he's a worry because he's on. Is it 9 yellows he's on? So if he gets one, he's going to sort of miss that Wolves game, and it would just be gutting, wouldn't it, if United lost a clean sheet in the first game and he gets a yellow, and he doesn't bring you home anything. So I think it's probably a bit safer to play with or to go with Lindelof or Ashley Young. I wasn't expecting to say that, but I don't mind that pick.
He's super low owned, and he's 5.7. It's annoying. He's more expensive, but differential, and an option for sure.
Cool. All right, we'll get back on to United again a bit later. Should we talk about another fixture where neither team have a second game in this game week? It's West Ham against Everton. I haven't really got a ton to say apart from I hope Felipe Anderson scores because I'm going to play him. He's technically in great form, isn't he? Because he was in really poor form, getting 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, all that sort of thing, and now he just got a 5, Kieran. A 5!
It's incredible.
How many goals do you think he's going to score in this game?
I'm going to go with 0.
What? No way.
Sorry. I think Everton, after that Chelsea win, will be confident. So, I think Everton could score and probably keep them out.
But I've got written down here, Anderson is back in unreal form. That's what I've got down here. So you don't think it's going to be a big win?
No. No way.
I got some. Okay, well, West Ham, Kieran. If I just tell you this, we've not looked at the table. Oh, you've probably not looked at the table recently. Who do you think's higher in the Premier League, Everton or West Ham?
I'm going to guess Everton just.
Yeah, no, they're not, Kieran. West Ham, okay? Felipe Anderson is the difference rather than Richarlison. Anyway, so West Ham have scored at least 2 in the last 3 home games. And I just feel like they're going to win this game. I feel like Arnautovic is going to be a bit more up to speed. Anderson's going to be... He's been spending some time away with the Brazil squad, hasn't he? He's been learning off Firmino. He's been learning off Coutinho. He's going to come back and he's going to score. I can feel it.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Cool. Is there anything else we want to say about this game? Because I haven't really got a lot to say about either of them.
I think Dean had an injury concern, so he's got a yellow flag. So if anyone that still owns him, I do, but he's on. Obviously, I'm on free hit. So if he's not back, then Baines will probably come in. Good enough replacement, isn't he? So probably not too much to worry about. But hopefully he's back for 33. Yeah. That's my hope.
Oh, both of these teams have a game in 33.
They do.
That's why I was so mad about when I looked at the transfers out this week. Second most transferred out player. It's Felipe. People getting rid of him. Guys, everyone's going to be wanting him back in when they play away against Chelsea in game week 33.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. Right. I think it's away against... Is it away against Chelsea in 33? Yeah, it is away against Chelsea in 33. So don't come crying in the comments after our game week 33 review video saying, oh, Chris was right. I can't believe Anderson scored a hat-trick away against Chelsea. You guys are stupid. Okay. Right, Sunday.
They're going to come in and prove themselves right.
Oh, God. I need some price rises, Kieran. Shh. Cool. All right, Sunday, Cardiff against Chelsea. I've got down here, are Chelsea in free fall? Because they drew against Wolves and they lost against Chelsea, and we've not heard a peep out of Sarri for like 2 weeks.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think these fixtures are too good to pass up, especially on free hit. I think Hazard's nailed on in my team. He's got back to form with Belgium, so temporary form, I suppose. And hopefully he can bring that back into the Premier League against Cardiff away. It seems like a good fixture for him.
Yeah.
On penalties, obviously. I still have Higuain in my squad. Higuain, yeah. He's so low owned that I don't know. He feels that sort of budget like nicely for me at that 9 million. It seems like I have a nice amount of money there for him to just fit in, and it just feels right. And he's such a differential. I've seen barely anyone else own him. And I think...
Do you think there's a reason behind that? Do you think people doubt him?
No, I think people are overlooking him, man.
Oh, okay.
I think people do doubt him, yes, but I think he should at least play this Cardiff game. And if he scores, then he should play the Brighton game, because, Europa's just around the corner. Giroud's been playing all of that.
Yep.
And he's not really had a sniff in the Premier League, to be honest. So, yeah, if Higuain can play 60 minutes in both games, just like Aguero, then I think I'd be happy. He's obviously a flat track bully, as we've said before.
Yeah.
And, yeah, only scored against Fulham and Huddersfield, so Cardiff and Brighton seem like the next ones for him to score against. And if he can get a goal, maybe 2, maybe goal and assist. He's looked lively, I think, in my opinion. He's had a few chances, so if he can just finish them against these lesser teams, then yeah, it feels good. I think I'm going to keep him.
What's his ownership?
It might be
like
crazy, but it's like 4% still.
Okay, cool. So he's a mega.
It might be crazy, but like in a Chelsea team with Hazard behind him, he's proven quality player, isn't he? So why not? What can go wrong?
Okay.
Right?
I can sort of, when you put it like that, I can sort of see reasoning. But I suppose it's just the form, the 1 goal in 5, and when Giroud played in Europa League, he looked really good, and I suppose that might always be breathing down his neck. Chelsea just worry me a little bit at the moment. That I heard a stat the other day. I think it's the last 10 games now where they've conceded the first goal. They've not come back to win, which sort of strikes me they're a bit fragile, and they've got, like we've seen before, that they're a bit set in their way of playing. Sarri's been criticised for transferring the same players in the same positions and not changing the style. Feels like they're a bit stuck in the system at the moment. So I don't know if Cardiff score first in this game on Sunday. I think it could be a bit of panic in the Chelsea ranks.
Can't see that happening, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. You can't not back them with them fixtures in this. They're Chelsea, aren't they? Yeah, in my opinion, I can't not go with them.
Fair enough. Now that you're on the free hit.
Higuain is one I may not have come the end of the transfer deadline. Just see what Sarri says tomorrow. See about the United players, obviously, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, if you want to be convinced to put him back in your team again, just watch up this video back and remind yourself from just a minute ago why you were so convinced about it.
Okay.
Is Etheridge a good pick on the Cardiff side of things? Save points?
Yeah, and he's got a penalty track record as well, hasn't he? Saving. Yeah, maybe. I haven't really considered him, to be honest. I don't think many people have.
No.
You can't really see any clean sheets.
No, but save points. And
yeah, I mean, if you're on a free hit, then I think you can mostly consider or afford like a Kepa or an Edison. Obviously, I've gone Foster because I think he'll play both games.
Yeah.
And he's a save beast as well. So, and he's got decent-ish fixtures.
Yeah.
Whereas Cardiff do not.
No, the fixtures are poor, but
yeah.
I mean, we've seen this season he can put in like huge games, can't he? He can get 5, 6, 7, 8 point return games, even if Cardiff concede. So, I mean, they are going to face a ton of shots over these 2 games. And
that's true.
If he can save, I don't know, even 40, 30% of them, surely that's going to be some big numbers there.
How much is he?
He's 4.7 or 4.8, I think now. So he's
see, that's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's like,
if he was 4.5, then yeah, I think he'd be, in my eyes, a bit more. To be honest.
Well, he's high up the goalkeeper standing, so his price has just gone up. I think he's like the 3rd highest point scoring goalkeeper overall. So, yeah.
How many is he owned by? Do you know?
Oh, I don't off the top of my head. I would guess it's between sort of 8 and 12% though. That's really specific, but I reckon it's around there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Are you going to look and tell
I'm
me?
interested. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
do you want to look?
Not right now.
Oh,
no.
not right now. Okay. When?
Well, I suppose I can do. All right, I will do.
Well, let's talk about Liverpool Tottenham in a minute. I don't think I've got much more to say about the Chelsea game. I think Hazard's a bit.
All right, he's owned by 11%.
Oh my! I said 8 to 12.
4.7 mil.
Okay. Cool. Ding dong. That was a good guess. All right. What was I talking about? Hazard. Oh yeah, just that he was really informed for Belgium, wasn't he? He had a couple of really good games. Did he score his 100th goal, I think, as well for Belgium over the course of the international break? So he's got.
I think he
flying.
did, yeah.
So if you can, replicate that form for Chelsea in these games, then great. But like I said, it seems like Hazard for Chelsea is different to Hazard for Belgium at the moment.
Yeah, I just think those fixtures and Hazard being Hazard, it's super hard to ignore him in this week. Go without him at your peril, I think.
Oh God,
he's nailed on in my team.
I'm going to be going out. I'm going to be going without him.
Yeah, but you're different because you're not free hitting.
I'm going to be hyperventilating during that Chelsea card game. Okay, so another game on the Sunday is Liverpool Tottenham, a big game, and this is probably of all the games happening over the sort of the next 5 to 7 days, whatever. This is the one I'm most looking forward to watching because it's a big game for Liverpool in the title race. Tottenham produced a great performance there last season. They ended up drawing 2-2, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wanyama scored that screamer, and it was a really good game. So, how do you see this one going? And what do you think it means for fantasy point of view for Spurs really? Because they are another one of the teams with a double game week. Is Kane, is Ali, Son? Are any of those on your radar?
I've certainly looked at Kane. I would love to have him in. Obviously, the fixtures are not great. Obviously, this Liverpool game, you'd expect it to be tight because it could be a title decider, to be honest.
Yep.
If Liverpool... I think they can afford to draw, maybe. But if they lose to Spurs, then, title might be over.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe that's some more impetus or whatever for Spurs to win, maybe. But I think it'll be tight, and I imagine Liverpool maybe just win.
Liverpool have been bullying teams at home recently, so they've scored at least 3 goals in 7 of their last 8, which is crazy numbers. And Tottenham have lost their last 3 away games. So when you look at the sort of simplistic, home and away form stats, you'd think this is going Liverpool's way. But things like Mane playing in the national game, Firmino played twice for Brazil. I think Salah had time off, didn't he, from Egypt?
Salah didn't play at all.
Yeah, I don't think he played, so he'll be fairly fresh. But the fact that 2 of the front 3 have played might mean they're not as go gadget as they usually are. Yeah,
that's quite true. I think Kane played obviously 90 minutes in both for England as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So but Kane is nailed on, isn't he? He always plays. So
he's going to be playing NFL soon, isn't he? Did you see that news?
He wants to, doesn't he? Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What do you think of that as a big NFL fan?
I think he could do well as a kicker. He doesn't want to do anything but a kicker, so just as a kicker, he'll be fine.
So how does that work? So that you just literally just stand on the sidelines, and then you come on and kick it, and then you go off again?
Yes, pretty much.
That sounds like a good job, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you get paid shitloads.
I bet. So you think Kane could kick the round egg pretty good?
Yeah, I think he could.
Okay, all right. Well, that's something to consider for NFL fantasy draft players in about 10 years' time.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Cool. All right, Son, I noticed he played games for South Korea, so that's a long journey back for him. It's a shame because I had him up to last week, and he sort of made way so I could get Vardy for this game week. So I sort of figured he'd play for South Korea. But do you reckon, have any of the Spurs players got... Yeah, we were talking about Kane getting back to his sort of scoring ways for Tottenham before the international break. Do you see sort of them having a quieter game in this one, but going a bit rampant in that Palace game, which sort of makes them worth getting, or you a bit on the fence about them?
I'm so on the fence about them. I think it's Kane or none of them, to be honest, because I think Son is definitely not nailed on now. I think he'll probably play at least one, but that travelling time, and he's not had much rest, and he's just kind of dropped off form, hasn't he? He scored 1 in the internationals, but considering he's playing for South Korea against some crap team, he should probably do better. I'm not full of confidence with him. Ali looked pretty poor in the internationals for England.
Yep.
After coming back from injury, obviously, but I think he didn't look great at all. And he's obviously said before he's dropping deeper, and he played deeper for England. Yeah. So that doesn't fill me with confidence. And then Eriksen, I mean, he's been pretty consistent with playing 90 minutes, but he's blanked in the last 4. He got a 13-point haul before that, but does that mean he's due a haul? Probably not, because he's pretty inconsistent, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
So, I can only see like maybe guaranteed points from Kane, maybe a penalty in the Liverpool game, possibly, and then that second game in the new home, you can't really underestimate the probably electric atmosphere it might be, but. Yeah, it's hard to fit him in. He's 12.5 million, isn't he? He's so expensive. That Higuain in my team is looking like I could fit Kane in there, but it's still like 4 odd million to find, and it's difficult. Yeah.
No, I think you're probably best off without him. He doesn't seem to be cropping up people's teams, so it doesn't feel like you're going to lose a lot of ground. And really, it just feels like he's got 1 game at home against Palace, because I can't see him going crazy against his Liverpool defence.
I don't know. His record is better against Liverpool than it is Palace by quite a bit, actually.
It's still going to be a tough game, though.
Of course, yeah, but Palace are usually Spurs bogey teams. So Palace seems to be a lot of teams bogey teams. But yeah, I don't know. I think it could be like a 2-2 in that Liverpool game, maybe. And then it's hard to call that second game. Really, could go either way.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm also a little bit a bit of a quandary about the Liverpool defence, because they're sort of, Robertson especially is a bit of a sort of cash cow for me at the moment, and with what is on paper a potentially tricky game at home, he seems like he could be a make weight for a Chelsea or a City defender, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be in the same position. So I've got Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. So my thinking at the moment, and I'm sure some other people are thinking the same, that I'll use Robertson's cash to change him to a Chelsea player, probably David Luiz for his goal threat, and if it's not, it's Laporte for the fact that he will probably play both games, just security of starts, and I'll play Alexander-Arnold because I still feel like Liverpool have got enough in them in that game to get a clean sheet over Pereira at home against Bournemouth.
Klopp has said that Alexander-Arnold has still got a back issue, so he's slightly injured still. So, and then Robertson also had an injury, didn't he? So, which took him out of Scotland's internationals. So, whether those are just international injuries and they'll both be fine, probably. We've thought this quite a few times about Liverpool defenders, haven't we? So,
we have. We have indeed. All right, it's Monday night. We have Arsenal against Newcastle, which is the last of the original sort of Game Week 32 games. Arsenal cracking form at the moment. Won their last 9 at home, and they've scored 2 in their last 7. I think Lacazette and Aubameyang are sort of players in the category of Vardy, who are being overlooked really as single game week players, and even Kolasinac, you mentioned last week, as a decent sort of attacking threat from defence who could pick up a clean sheet against a Newcastle side who before that Bournemouth game hadn't scored too many goals away from home. What do you think about this game Monday night? Do you think it's sort of like it's just a bit of a sleeper hit, Game Week 32?
I think it could be a good game. I have the sneaky feeling that Newcastle might win this game.
Ooh.
I don't know why. I just got a gut feeling that Rondon on form, Almiron looking pretty good, Perez looking pretty good. Yeah, I think they could do something. But then again, there's Abba, Lacazette, Mickey looking pretty good at the moment. Ozil's looking okay when he plays. Ramsey's looking pretty good. Yeah. So Arsenal could be rampant at the same time. So slightly jealous of not owning any of them. But I don't think it's a fixture that's cut and dry. And so I probably wouldn't risk any of it if you're free hitting on any of them.
It's going to be a good watch, I think, put it that way. I think it'll be a really good game to watch. But from an FPL point of view, I think there's better picks out there this week. Although an Arsenal player might be coming into my Cougar Cup picks a bit later.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe.
Under 15%, I hope.
I think he is.
Okay.
Have to see.
Oh, it's a he.
All right.
Please.
Watford against Fulham is on the Tuesday. So this is the first of the double game week games now. I've got written down here, I've got no love for Fulham, but from what you were talking about earlier, Babbles in your thoughts.
I love Babel. I don't know. Yeah, Babel could do well in this game. But then, Watford, I think rotation is likely to happen here, as we've all said. Jerry D, does he play this game? Not sure. I think if you're looking at anyone from Watford, it's probably him. If not Deeney, who's probably pretty low owned in the third striker role.
They're both owned by less than 6%, so they're really good differentials for this double game week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fancy them against United particularly. They could get one, but is it going to be the player that you've got who gets that goal? It's tough to say.
Delafeu is a good option because he's quite cheap, isn't he? He's 5'7" or 5'8", but 6 returns in 4 for them both. It's pretty good going.
It is. It just kind of feels a little bit bad in a way that you're spending the fourth. If it's a fourth mid and it's 5.5 and a free hit, I think it feels a bit cheap to me. But maybe I just need to let that go. Maybe accept a bit of rotation with him because he could do well. But if he's going to play the first game and maybe not the second one, and it's against United, it doesn't look great, does it?
No. Who scores more, David Silva and Higuain or Deulofeu and Kane?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that.
I don't know if you could afford it either. Actually, thinking about it.
No. I don't know. Who would you say scores more?
Probably Kane and Deulofeu.
Really?
Yeah, why not?
Why?
Kane's first game back at the stadium, and surely even if Deulofeu comes on for 20 minutes like he did against City, he'd get something against Fulham. Even Barber can't stop Deulofeu.
No, I can't see that.
All right, maybe have a little tinker tonight and see if you can afford that.
Yeah, I know I will.
So we're gonna run through these games fairly quick, aren't we, for the second ones? Watford against Fulham. So let's have a prediction on that one. So you think they're going to rest most of their players? I'm sort of with you as well. I think they're going to rotate a bit. They'll play full strength against United, and they'll rotate quite heavily for this one. You think they'll sub some players?
1-1.
1-1.
Let's go for that. 1-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who scores for?
We'll get an Andre Gray goal.
Oh yeah. Could see
that.
And
then Barber goal.
Brilliant. Okay. So another game on Tuesday. I think it is. United go away to Wolves, where they lost a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
in the FA Cup. Oh, gosh, time's flying. The Wolves are going to be looking ahead to that semi-final, aren't they? Surely. What better chance are they going to have to reach a FA Cup final than a game against Watford? And I think they play on the Sunday as well, so they've even got an extra day's rest over City.
I think Wolves have to go for it. It'd be a great story if they came up, to the Premiership, spent all this money, and then go and win the FA Cup. I think that'd be great. So I think they have to go for the FA Cup for sure.
You like that they spent the money to get there? That's a good story.
Yeah, I do. Well, they spent money wisely, I suppose.
That's like entering like a cheat code on Vice City, like no police and just going around. Oh, Kieran.
Oh. Well, whatever.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think they'll rotate. We've seen Nuno do that before, haven't we? So yeah, I think United have the run of the park here, maybe. But then again, like Vinagre and Saiss, whoever will come in for Doherty and Johnny, maybe. They're both decent enough players, so it could still be a tight game. I just don't maybe see Jimenez and Jota playing, so I don't see the attacking potential as much here. So it could be a 0-0, 0-1, 0-2, something like that to United.
I think it's going to be interesting what Wolves do with their midfielders. I mean, Moutinho and Neves have proved so crucial, haven't they, recently? And Moutinho played, I think he played 90 minutes for Portugal in the second of their international games. So I wouldn't be surprised with him, seeing way reduced minutes in game week 32 in preparation for the semi-final. So it's just a question who comes in there and if they can sort of match up against Pogba, Matic, and I would have thought Herrera.
Yeah, probably that Saiss guy, maybe, because Bennett should be back from his ban, I think it was. Yeah. And then Dendoncker will probably play them all. And Morgan Gibbs-White will probably play a few. So, not terrible, but definitely not as good as Matic, Herrera, and Pogba and all that lot. So, I think United could do well.
I'd expect Wolves' minds to be a bit elsewhere. Like they none of them want to get injured before the cup final. They're really going to be going 110% into everything. So I'd expect United to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the Wednesday games, top of the list is Chelsea against Brighton. So another team again with this theme, but really I think it is going to matter, isn't it? The rest and rotation ahead of the FA Cup semi-final. Brighton play on Saturday evening, I think, against City. I think it's a 5:30 kickoff in the semi. So do you feel like this is just going to be one-way traffic and it's going to be a Chelsea win in this one?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, as simple as that, to be honest. I think Chelsea will just 2-0, 3-0, just run-of-the-mill, easy victory for them, to be honest. Like I said earlier, I think Murray will probably get rested. I think, I guess that Andone will come in, something like that, or Lacardia. I think they're both good players, but I don't think they have enough to do anything to Chelsea here.
No, I think it's going to be a couple to nil at least in this one. I think this is where the Chelsea double game week assets are really going to come to the fore. It's the sort of game where you hear it or you watch it on TV and they just start running away with it. You think, my God, why did I not get more Chelsea cover? Who if you're going to order some Chelsea cover then for people out there in terms of players from every player, so you've gone for Higuain, Hazard and David Luiz. Where would you say is sort of like the next point of interest after that? Is there one?
Kepa's seems like a good option, 5.4.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to cover the defense cheaper than Louise, then Kepa is good.
Yep.
Should be nailed on and is good for BPS, good for better for saves compared to Edison, and is quite good at penalty saving, unlike De Gea.
Mm-hmm.
De Gea can never save a penalty. And then other than that, maybe Azpilicueta, if you want nailed on for the 2 games, he'll probably play both. And then Rudiger probably, but I don't know. David Luiz is maybe not sure either. Rudiger and Luiz could be swapped out for Christensen for 1 game, but Azpilicueta should be nailed.
What do you think about Barkley coming off a bit of form for England? No,
I think he'll probably play 1 game maybe,
okay.
And he could do well, but I don't think he plays both games. Kovacic is there, isn't he? So yeah, he'll probably may even get minutes with Hudson-Odoi, to be honest, because he played well, didn't he? So I think you could see some shared minutes there too. I think it's Hazard, hopefully Higuain, Azpilicueta, Kepa, David Luiz.
So you think there's a few
go-tos.
Yeah, you think there's a few options then. I tend to agree. I think Kepa and David Luiz good options to back along with us. I think Azpilicueta is a little bit more expensive. I think he's
6'3".
6'3", yeah. So you're paying a premium really for him. Okay.
Yes.
Another game. So the one we're all sort of like rubbing our hands together for is the City against Cardiff game on the Wednesday. There is this another bloodbath waiting to happen. We mentioned bloodbath at the top of the show. Sorry for mentioning it twice, but it's looking like another 3-4 nil.
A massacre.
Yeah, it should be. What do you think What do you think about this news about Mendy? Because we saw him pictured in training. You were getting a bit excited about him. If we hear in the press conference tomorrow that Mendy's back for the game against Fulham tomorrow, would you think, okay, I've got to have him for these 2?
We've seen him come back before and get injured again, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it's a risk, but he's not been rushed back this time.
No, he's not.
He's been fit for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So, if we hear he's gonna play, which then I'd be tempted for sure, because David Silva out and then Mendy in, which covers the defense and attacking kind of as well.
Yeah.
Then I like it. Keep a strong ear on that press conference.
Yeah, definitely. If Pep has any sort of inclination that Mendy's going to start, or Mendy's back for the team this weekend, or back in the first team, he would be 100% my first defensive pick out of all the double game week options.
But if it's only for 1 game, would you go for it?
No, I'd want the 2, but I'd expect if he was going to start the Fulham game, he'd start the next game too.
Why would you expect that?
Well, because if he's fit enough to play 1, you'd think Pet's happy with him to play a second.
Has had all this time off, hasn't he?
Yeah, so if he's been doing light training, he could do 70 minutes and then another 70. I would have thought. He's a fit boy.
Yeah.
God.
Listening to Pep, hopefully he tells us something nice.
Yeah. So the final game is the one in Spurs' new stadium, which is going to. I always like watching a new stadium on the TV. I saw some highlights, but until actually it happens, it's going to be quite cool. But Palace have got a decent record against Spurs, which we sort of touched on earlier. They've sort of only lost by 1 or 2 goal margins. Actually turned over Spurs a few times, sort of like in the last 6 games. Do you think it's going to be a bit of a slaughter, or do you think it's going to be a close one?
Like I said, I think it could go either way. It could be a slaughter, it could be tight. We've seen other teams have new stadiums before, like West Ham at the London Stadium, which hasn't gone too well. But that stadium does look really impressive. Does look like it's going to be a really electric atmosphere. Spurs fans have been waiting so long for this. They're probably going to be so up for it. And imagine the Spurs team will be as well. I think Kane would love to score in the first.
He would, wouldn't he?
First game there.
Loves that sort of thing. Because I think he was the last goal at White Hart Lane. So he'd probably love to be the first goal for, or it might have been Rooney actually. I can't remember who scored first in that game, but yes, he scored in the last game at White Hart Lane. So I'm sure he'd love to score first in the new stadium. What's it called again? No. Why am I blanking?
Is it White Hart Lane?
I can't remember. They didn't just
wait. What are you asking?
Yeah, the new stadium name.
I thought it was just the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now.
Oh, is it?
I think that's what they called it. Yeah, just straight their name.
I should have really found that out. Okay, all right. We'll see.
But Palace obviously don't have Sacco. They have probably Dan. which makes them less solid, but obviously they still are a good team, still good defensively.
Well, they've still got Milivojevic, haven't they? Those penalties.
They do.
Those penalties. 6.3 penalty in each game. Kieran, highest scoring player of the game week. Essential.
Maybe.
Right, have you got anything to add on to that one?
Yeah, just lots of tinkering to do. Still undecided. I think this week has been very hard, honestly.
It has been. Should we do the Cougar Cup picks?
Sorry, I'm coughing.
Yeah, that's all right. You're doing it very quietly, which everyone's going to appreciate.
So, okay, do you want to go first or?
No, you go first. Because
I'm not sure which one to pick. All right, I'll go for Vardy.
Oh.
Yeah, Bournemouth at home. Will I get? He's not got a double.
You can't have him.
Why not?
Because I got him.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's got to be a player neither of us.
Oh yeah, of course. Right. Right. It's Zaha then. I'm not going to go for Not going to go for Barwell. This is assuming he's fit, which I hope he is.
Yeah.
It's Zaha, 13% owned.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go for a really boring one now by comparison. It's Laporte.
Oh God. Okay. Boring.
It is boring, isn't it? But I don't know. I like a defender in a double, and I'm not going to get him, so I feel like I got to get those points.
He is surely over 15% owned.
Nah, he's not. I'd look. He's like 8% or something.
What?
I know. I'm sorry. Who owns Laporte? Oh, 15%. He's been injured. People can get rid of him.
Okay, he is 8%. Wow.
Whoop.
All right.
Should we just say what Cougar Cubs? Do you want to explain what Cougar Cubs is? Because we just sort of launched into our excitement there.
So yeah, it's 2 players we pick each week from teams from differentials from players that we don't have in our teams personally, and then we just add up their points that they score each week, and then eventually one of us will be the winner at the end of the season. So currently I'm on 17 points, and Chris is on 22 points, so all to play for. And in the double, I've got Zaha this week, obviously, and you've got Laporte. So yeah, hopefully we'll both do well. All to play for.
We should also say that 17 points and whatever, it sounds really low. We only started this like 5 game weeks ago, didn't we? 5 or 4 game weeks ago. And we'll see how we get on. Still got 5 game weeks after this one. So yeah, be good.
Yeah, we've been pretty poor at it so far.
Yeah, we haven't had any big calls.
It's hard to pick differentials, you know?
Yeah.
They're differential for a reason sometimes.
Yeah, also, they've got to be differentials from our team and then under 15% owned. So it is pretty tricky. Captaincy chit chat. Let's talk. Your plans.
So it's probably Aguero, I think. It might be Sterling. I haven't decided. And then V will probably be on Hazard, not Pogba. I think Hazard's nailed on for the vice. But it'll come down to the wire between Aguero and Sterling. I think it's minutes versus explosiveness. I think.
Well, I think City have just looked really good. So they've scored 11 goals in the last 6 game weeks, and there's a chance every 4.9 minutes, which is incredible. And only Arsenal and Liverpool have sort of done better than that, but they've had a game less to do it in. So yeah, City are looking really good. I think Sterling will get less minutes than Aguero with these doubles. So from a pure safety and penalties point of view, I'm probably going to go Aguero, and I'm going to give him the triple captaincy. I think the reason with the minutes as well, I spoke about it a bit earlier, but the fact Jesus has been away with Brazil and he's played means that Aguero is the main pick up front there, whereas Sterling, Mahrez, like we say, Sane, and also Bernardo Silva have all played international games, so it is really more, we're back on the Pep roulette with those
Sterling
guys.
On form though.
Yeah, Sterling
big form.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, can't deny it. And I just think Fulham are so poor, Cardiff so poor. It feels like it has to be a City player in this game week.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I agree with that. How many points do you think you're going to get with your triple? How many points are you expecting this double?
I'd be pleased if Aguero managed more than 30 points. I think that'd be all right. So if he gets more than 15 across the 2, I'd be pleased. Yeah, I think that'd be a decent.
It'd be better than mine.
Yeah, bear in mind, I don't think I've had a good haul ever using the. Oh, maybe I had a decent one with Sanchez a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I think 1 out of it's blanked twice on me, so I'm not expecting a lot. But as long as it brings my average up to 3 hit squads, and I'll be all right.
Well, everyone's going to own Aguero, so everyone's going to be hoping for him to do well, and if he does anything, then you'll be quids in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, you can't. Sterling's just looking so good, like we say, 5 goals in 6 game weeks and hat trick for England, and the one against Montenegro. He's just banging form. So, was
I know.
that extra point for the midfielder goal? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Really tough one.
It is.
I think Hazard's sort of down in 3rd place. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
down in 4th place. I put Pogba just ahead of him actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just think Pogba there, but yeah, it's got to be one of the City boys for me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Great.
All right. Is there anything else to add?
Don't think so. I think we covered it.
I think we've covered it, haven't we? What? Let's have a little score. Let's have a point score prediction for this game week with both our teams, just to wrap it up.
What,
Just
overall scores.
Overall scores. Yeah. What do you think would be a good? What are you hoping for with a free hit? You think it's 75 plus, or you want to try and hit 100?
Well, considering I haven't locked it in yet, I'm hoping for 100 plus. That seems like what we should be aiming for on a double game week free hit.
Yeah, with
for sure.
those teams with those fixtures.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll be happy if I can beat the average and get a green arrow. So if I could get anywhere sort of like above 70 with an Aguero triple captain, I'd be pleased.
Yeah, and I think it's something only like 70,000 or something like that manages to hit free hit. So a lot of people are going to be wildcarding or taking lots of hits for this double. So
Actually,
there's greens already on the card for people who have free hit, and then you're already obviously optimizing your team with these lots of City, lots of Chelsea, lots of United. You're thinking you should be going up nicely here.
Yeah.
That's the hope anyway.
Actually, I should almost mention I ran a poll on our at FPL Cougars Twitter account earlier to feed into tonight's show. At this point, was to find out just generally from a small sample of people, so 140 people voted in the poll, how many hits people who weren't on a free hit were taking. So surprisingly to me, that 35% of people, which was the most, said they were going to have a more than a 12-point hit this week. So the fact that people, are going to be potentially doing minus 16 hits for players got me quite excited. So yeah,
that's a lot.
It is a lot, isn't it? I was really surprised at that. So yeah, fair play. Some balls out on that one.
I mean, like with 31, if you get the right players, just a few, and you captain the right person, you don't need a full team of doubles.
No.
Like with 31, someone just had Mane and captained him, and got a respectable score of 30 odd, whatever it was. So it could go either way, and you don't have to have loads of hits, to be honest.
No. And I feel like I'm going to have a bit of a bounce back in game week 34 for lots of people that played their free hit. I'm going to have a bounce back in 33 with all the people that played their free hit in 31.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should probably just mention my transfers for people who've been watching on the screen. They've had my team up the whole time. Probably noticed I've still got, not many double game week players. I have Salah at the moment. Salah is going to go. Sterling is going to come in. And very likely Robertson is going to go for David Luiz or Mendy, depending on who's fit. So I think that's probably going to be me. So that will leave me with, Kieran's obviously going to have the full 11. I'm going to have 7 double game week players, which I don't think is too bad. It's okay. Right then. I think that wraps up, doesn't it?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Gosh, I'm excited. And it's only Thursday. All right. Thanks for everyone for joining us. We'll be back next week previewing game week 33 and wrapping up all the events of game week 32. Until that time, if you've got any questions, tweet us at FPL Cougars or leave a comment on our YouTube video. We're also available on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify Podcasts as well. And you can find us by searching for FPL Cougars. So until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Cheers and good luck.
Bye-bye.